Welcome to the Blue Line here on WHVL. Mike Tressa and Andrew Callista with you. And the Penn State season is winding down. We already know the women's season is over. The men still had two big series left, and we start with the past weekend with the number 5 Wisconsin Badgers coming to town.
Yeah, the Badgers beat Penn State twice out in Madison, and they're playing some really good hockey right now, moving all the way up to a top 5 ranking in the country. But Penn State, though, hoping to capitalize on some home ice magic to pull off the upset. PJ Musical minding the net for Penn State. Second start in 3 games. Joe Rumpel, his counterpart, leading the Big Ten in win percent. Early first, penalty props for the Lions. Bailey with the slash. He goes to the box. And ensuing power play, it's going to be Michael Mersch making the Lions pay. Shot, rebound, and what an effort by Mersch. His 20th of the year, 1-zip Badgers. State, though, looking to respond. Jacob Friedman is going to block that shot at the point, wins the race to the net, but Rumpel up to the task on the breakaway. More on that later. Musico on the other end, rising to the challenge. Mersch with a great pass right here off the spin move in front. Jefferson Dahl, but PJ aggressive and cuts down the angle for the save. Badgers, though, keep the pressure up. Nick Kurdilis is going to come in with the shot, blocked in front, but Tyler Barnes, right place, right time, beats Musico top shelf. 2-zip bad guys. Penn State, though, now on the attack. Bailey, the wraparound, no. Scheid whiffs on the putback. Rumpel doing everything right. Penn State, not so much. Ricky DeRosa caught for tripping here. Delayed penalty for the Badgers. Rumpel off. Extra attacker on. Great puck movement right here. And Nick Kurdilis, the Ducks draft pick, puts the Badgers up 3-zip midway through the second. Penn State, though, is going to try to claw back into this, but Rumpel was a wall. First, Dylan Richard. Then, it's Tommy Olczyk right there. And finally, David Goodwin. Rumpel with 25 saves in this one. In the third, though, Casey Bailey finally lighting the lamp with his 8th of the year. Cuts the lead to 3-1. Final minute for Penn State. Do they have some magic? Extra attacker on. Richard, beautiful look to the slot, and Taylor Holstrom is going to deflect this one right past Rumpel. 3-2, 59 ticks left, but the Badgers would add an empty netter, and that's how this one would end. 4-2 Badgers as the Lions lose Game 1 for the 5th time in a series this season at home.
I'm disappointed that we came out as flat as we did and unprepared to battle and execute, and they were very good that first period, but I give them credit, but I feel we weren't ready to do that. It's my responsibility, and that's got to change. I thought we caught up a little later to make it a game, but I thought we gave away the game in the first period.
I thought that Penn State did a good job of, hey, this game isn't over. We're still here. We're playing, and that's what if I'm Coach Godowski, that's what I want. There was no quit.
As Coach Godowski said, he was more disappointed with the slow start to the Game 1 than the hot finish for Penn State. It was a little bit too little, too late. Penn State, though, had the chance on Saturday to bounce back with a better effort in Game 2. And in Game 2, the Lions rocking some special uniforms to honor the military. They had a jersey auction, proceeds going to support the wounded warriors. And Penn State came out with that warrior mentality. Good chances early. Ricky DeRosa there, then just barely messing out on a breakaway attempt for Taylor Holstrom. Wisconsin able to knock it away, and the Badgers strike first. Eddie Wichko leaves it for Keegan Meyer, blasts a goal past Matt Scoff. 1-0. Penalties a killer for these teams. Tyler Barnes in the box for interference. Penn State, big conversion. Dylan Richard to David Glenn. Beautiful pass to Casey Bailey, salutes the crowd. Great celebration honoring the vets. Second period, same score. Penn State can't solve Joel Rumpel. No good there from Richard. Then Tommy Olczyk can't convert another breakaway. 41 saves for Rumpel. Badgers converting, though, on the shorthand. Mark Zangurli to Nick Kurdilis. Beautiful between the legs flick for the 2-1 lead. That hurts the Lions heading into the third, but Matt Scoff keeping it close, stopping Zangurli on the break. He had 26 saves, and with under 3, Kenny Brooks around the cage finally gets some good bounces for the Lions as his goal goes in to tie it. Penn State looking for that win in regulation. Eric Scheid, no chance with Rumpel there as he eats it up. The game goes to OT, and under 30 seconds left, Penn State falls asleep. Joe Faust all the way up ice as Zangurli goes to Kurdilis, back to Zangurli for the game winner. 3-2 overtime win. Tempers flared at the end of this one, but Penn State more upset. They let a chance for a point slip away.
I thought we gave ourselves a chance to win, and I mean, I'm not disappointed in our effort at all. I'm disappointed in, 20 seconds left in overtime. That's a tough one to swallow, but we'll learn to win those.
I mean, obviously it's tough. I thought overall we played a very good game as a team. and that's the frustrating part that we lost when we did that.
We've gotten the confidence that we can compete with anybody, and I think we really, feel like we're going to start winning these games, and I feel like we're in all these games with these, number 1, number 5, all these top 10 teams, all these great teams that are in conference, and I think, we're disappointed we don't get the win, and that's what we're looking for.
The stats from the series, Penn State, everything is good except in the goal category. Penalties, pretty even, and the Lions better than the Badgers on the PK, who came in actually tops in the conference. Penn State winning at the dots and the shot total. Good numbers, but no win or a point to show for it.
And that's really the tough part and the disappointment that you heard the players talk about. They play such a good game and they have no point, no win to come away with. And that's really the problem, is the Lions still continue to not be able to come through when it counts.
Yeah, and Coach Godowski talked about it. The team is battling so much right now. It's just they can't get over the hump, and that was actually his focus in this weekend's Sounding Off, presented by Ace Hardware, Upstate College.
We want to take the next step. So we played really well. If this was the first time we played really well against a top 5 team, we'd probably be thrilled. But we've played really well against Minnesota and lost by 1 goal. We played really well against Boston College and lost by 1 goal. Same as Union. We've had these experiences, and I guess to take the next step is to close them out, and obviously we're not quite there yet.
Someone who has seemed to get there for the Lions is Player of the Week, Casey Bailey. Bailey scored the first goal for the Lions in each game this weekend, both from almost identical spots on the ice. The sophomore is finding his groove, now second on the team with 9 goals this season. And that leads to what Penn State did good in their series against Wisconsin. And for that, we start with what the Lions did on their special teams unit.
Yeah, the penalties in both games were all over the place for actually both teams. But State did a really great job on the PK. Wisconsin coming in was the best in the Big Ten, as I said before. But the Lions were able to outperform the Badgers to a tune of 89% on the penalty kill. They cleared the front to eliminate quality chances, and it was especially important in Game 2, where Wisconsin went 0 for 4 on the power play, giving the Lions a chance to get the win. And while they themselves had trouble lighting the lamp.
So the defense was on point for the Lions, but shifting to the bad, yes, Penn State had the problems we saw finishing games. Godowski talked about it. There was another issue where they really struggled in finishing.
Well, you actually got to finish your chances. Multiple times Penn State had breakaways in this game. They just couldn't beat Joel Rumpel. They were Olczyk, Friedman, Goodwin. They didn't even come close on these attempts. Rumpel is a top goalie, but Penn State has to improve on these one-on-one situations. It's been a problem all season, especially on penalty shots. They just don't have the same ability to handle the puck in this department as some of the top teams in the conference, which has hurt them all year lighting the lamp.
Well, they'll need to get those goals up when the next opponent comes in. Ohio State enters Pagula next, and they're second in the Big Ten in total goals scored. We'll preview that series when the Blue Line returns.
I think you have to get in a situation where you have a real tough battle series, or you're battling in certain standings, or you have a playoff game that's incredible. I guarantee it's going to happen. I don't feel that we're there to the extent that Penn State expects it to be, or the Big Ten expects it to be, but I'm fairly confident it's going to happen.
Welcome back to the Blue Line. Penn State finishes their season with Ohio State, and while their border rivalry may not be the same as it is on the football field, Penn State has some added fuel to this series after what Ohio State did to them earlier in the season.
Yeah, that was a horrid series for Penn State out in Columbus. And what better way to end your regular season at home than knocking off the hated Buckeyes, who are trying to hold on to the 4th seed going into the Big Ten tournament.
And let's see how the teams compare on the J. Magai Mitsubishi matchup board. We mentioned the scoring, 103 goals for the Buckeyes, a full goal per game better than Penn State. Very strong, getting those goals on the power play. The 21.4% is the best in the conference. Penn State will have to be great again on their penalty kill.
Last time they met, though, it wasn't pretty for the Lions. Penn State came out flat with a 5-1 loss Friday night. Ohio State got a power play goal and a shorty in that win. Saturday afternoon, not much better, as Penn State had a 2-zip lead before allowing 5 unanswered goals, and that was a problem and was what the team was concerned about with this week.
We were up 2-0 in the first period on Saturday night. We didn't have a very good game Friday night, and then we sort of had a mental adjustment and came back strong and were playing well, and that was earlier in the year that we weren't very comfortable in that situation. It was one of the few times that we actually had a lead and we didn't handle it very well.
That was a tough weekend for us. I think that we've been gaining a lot of momentum as a team lately. We've been coming together, and our play's been, it's been shown on the ice, and we've been close with some of the best teams. So Ohio State's another good challenge for us, and like I said, it's going to be a learning experience and important to go into the tournament.
So Penn State is ready to close out the season with the Buckeyes. What is the main thing that the Lions really have to do to have a really strong finish to the season against Ohio State?
Well, you just kind of alluded to it, Mike. They got to close out a game. Close out the season, close out a game. They need to be better to take it to the next level. We've said it most of the season. Now you actually need to show it. Not only to be successful in one game, but to end the year on a high note. Gudowski said they have played great against the top teams earlier, just not great enough to get the wins. It was expected as the program was growing, but now finish one of these games in front of the home crowd. It could do a lot from a confidence standpoint for not only the team, but the fan base as well.
And that's exactly what the coach wants to see from these last games.
I think it's important for us to have another great performance. It certainly would be nice for us to prove to ourselves that we can close out against another great opponent going into the Big Ten tournament. So that's what we're looking for, but first and foremost, we want to improve on a couple things that we didn't do well on Saturday night and have a great performance with that.
With the season winding down, PJ Musical is finally getting his chance to mind the net. The California kid has started 2 of Penn State's last 3 games, and Elise Murakowski caught up with him in this week's Player Profile.
I'm here with junior goalie PJ Musico, and PJ, you had your first start here in Pegula this weekend. What was that like for you?
Oh, it was fun. I mean, obviously it's great to play at home. It was the fans they're awesome, the best fans in college hockey right now, and it was just a blast to be out there.
Penn State's pretty lucky, 3 competitive goalies. What's that competition level done for you and help you improve in your game?
Oh, it's fun, really. Having 2 other goalies that challenge you every day in practice, and obviously coach makes it really competitive too, and it makes you a better player, and really battling for every puck in practice really transfers to the game.
And last home weekend against Ohio State, a pretty big rival. What's going to be key for you guys to see success?
I mean, we're just going to have to stick to the little things and make sure we complete our objectives properly. We had a couple defensive lapses in the second Wisconsin game, and it really affected the outcome of the game. So hopefully, if we can limit those, we'll be all right.
Thanks very much, PJ.
Awesome, thank you.
Back to you guys.
Thanks, guys. When we come back, we take a look back at the women's seasons with head coach Josh Brandwein, and we also take a peek to next year with the Frozen Apple. Don't go anywhere. The Blue Line will be right back.
I'm sure that with the more exposure of the Big Ten, the more exposure of our hockey program, of our student body, of our university, that we'll get, we'll be able to attract better and better and better hockey players that fit us and fit our university.
Welcome back to the Blue Line. Penn State continues to expand their brand, and next year that means heading to the Big Apple to play in the inaugural Frozen Apple against Cornell. We're lucky enough to be joined now by the Executive Vice President of MSG Sports, Joel Fisher. Joel, how did the decision to have this game come about?
Well, Madison Square Garden, we have a long-standing commitment to college athletics as a whole. We've got a rich tradition, obviously, in college basketball. Starting today, the Big East tournament. In a couple of weeks, we have the NCAAs. A couple of years, we have the finals of the wrestling NCAA championships. And we've made a big commitment to college hockey as well. So when we looked at opponents that we thought would make a lot of sense, it just made a lot of sense with what's going on with Penn State to bring you guys here. Cornell's been here a number of years against BU, a couple years ago against Michigan. So we thought this would be a great matchup and a great matchup for the fans of college hockey.
Joel, why does MSG have such a great commitment to college athletics? I mean, you guys have top brands in the Knicks and the Rangers already playing there. Why is the college brand so important to you guys?
Well, the Knicks and Rangers, obviously, and the Liberty are important, extremely important to us. But, if we're going to consider ourselves and be called the world's most famous arena, it's not only for the teams that we have, but it's for the variety of events that we have. College sports is extremely important, concerts. The breadth of the events and the types of events we do are very, very important to us, and that's what makes us as special as we are. So college hockey and college sports overall fits right into that.
Penn State and Cornell obviously have very large bases in New York City. What does it mean to have those 2 teams in this event?
We think it means a great amount. Cornell, as you mentioned, has a great alumni base here, and they've done extremely well in the games that they have had here. Penn State, with the new hockey program, we know that they have great fans, and I think they must have the largest alumni base in New York City, and we know that they'll come out to support them. I remember a number of years ago when Penn State played in the NIT finals, and this entire building was white because everybody wore Penn State T-shirts, and I hadn't seen anything like it. None of us had seen anything like it in the NITs, the postseason NITs, in a long time. So we expect that same type of excitement to come for this hockey game.
The fan base is extremely interested in making the trek down to New York City. Do you have any details on possibly any ticket packages that are going to be coming out for the game next year?
No, we don't have anything yet. I mean, we're working on all the details for the game, and we'll put together all kinds of different packages. But at this point right now, there are no special packages.
All right, Joel, thanks a lot for your time. Really appreciate you joining us, and we're looking forward to November, finally getting a chance to check out Madison Square Garden and the Frozen Apple.
Yeah, we think it's going to be a great event, and we look forward to having all the Penn State fans fill up this building.
Thanks a lot, Joel. The Penn State women's team ended their season in the first round of the CHA tournament. Josh Brandwein has had some time to reflect on the season, and he sat down with our Elise Murakoski to talk about Season 2 at the Division I level.
I'm here with head coach Josh Brandwein, and Josh, you guys had a really exciting season, first year at a brand new arena. What was that experience like for you and the team?
It was a fabulous experience. Honestly, from the day we moved in, the girls and the team are just so appreciative of being in this facility. You know, I go back to the move-in and the reveal of the locker room. We had girls crying in the locker room. Their level of gratitude just says so much about the culture of the program, and really, from day one, they've just been real appreciative of their facilities, the weight room, just everything that they have access to here. Makes for us as a coaching staff come to the rink great every day.
And the season's just wrapped up. What was the highlight for you this season?
I think there were a couple highlights. You know, we had some really good wins. We were really competitive all season. Certainly stepping out on the ice for the first time here as a team, both for practice in Pegula Arena, opening day, our first win in Pegula Arena. You know, even Shannon Yoxheimer scoring the very first goal, and just hearing that goal horn for us for the first time was really something special.
And while the record may not show it, you guys grew so much this season. How does that help you going into next year and even forward into the program?
Tremendous growth, especially during the second half of the season. And the metrics are all there, and they're all pointing in the right direction. We dropped our goals against average in the second semester as a team by half a goal. Our shot margins went up on a positive side for us by over 6 shots. So we were giving up less shots, we were generating more shots. We had 2 games where we generated over 40 shots on goal in league play, and that's a first for us in program history. And then you add the competitiveness, again, really for both semesters, but especially the second semester. 6 games went to overtime in the second semester. That's 35% of our schedule. So this group is right there, and we are so ready to break through next year.
Thanks very much for your time, Josh.
Happy to be here.
Back to you guys.
Thanks to you too. The ladies get right back to it next week with practice, and the Blue Line gets right back to it after this as we take a look across the Big Ten standings. We'll be right back.
We've been improving a ton. I think the guys all know it, and the staff certainly recognizes it, and this is a fun place to play. So I certainly would like a few more before going in the Big Ten tournament.
Welcome back to the Blue Lines, the last weekend of Big Ten Conference play. But before we take a look at how things stand, we'll take a look back at the big plays from the Wisconsin series, starting with the Aaron's Amazing Save of the Week.
Yeah, we go to Game 2, and we check out Matt Scoff keeping the Lions in it with saves like this. Marks and Gurley splits the D, gets all the way. Great pad save by Scoff on this one of his 26 saves in the loss.
And the Cove Pizza Crunch of the Week goes to perennial cruncher Zach Starr, delivering the lumber to Nick Cardelas. Cardelas was all over, causing problems for the Lions in the series, so good to see him getting his from the big freshman. Both games against Wisconsin were very physical between the Lions and the Badgers, and that's just a sign of things to come for the last weekend in Big Ten play.
Yeah, that's what happens when teams are playing for postseason berths. Friday, Minnesota cruised past Ohio State 5-1, and Michigan did the same with Michigan State 7-1. But on Saturday, both teams must have had their cruise control stuck because Ohio State knocked off top-ranked Minnesota in a shootout, and Michigan State upset the Wolverines with a 4-3 win.
That's big because Wisconsin has a glimmer of hope for the 1 seed now. Minnesota is swept. Michigan is locked into the 3 seed. They'll play Penn State, and Ohio State and Michigan State only separated by 2 points for the number 4 and 5 seeds.
Spartans, they get to host number 5 Wisconsin. Tough task right there. While the Buckeyes, they're coming to Pagula, and number 1 Minnesota finishes the regular season at Yost, taking on Michigan.
Pagula Ice Arena will fill up for the final time this weekend against the Ohio State Buckeyes. And for this week's Pagula Spotlight, we took a look at the game day operations staff that helped the arena function. When Pagula packs for games, it's not all fans. Some of the people are there to work. Penn State operations staffs 83 people for men's games. That includes ticket takers, greeters, door guards, and guest services, which include the ushers. These workers are a mix of Penn State full and part-time staff, plus retirees and students. They also staff the penalty box attendants. The other staff working in the concession stands or in the team gift stands are filled by Penn State Hospitality Services. It really is a total team effort to fill all of the jobs and make Pagula have over 100 workers, which help ensure everyone finds their seats and that even the youngest fans can enjoy the game.
In the Health South Nittany Valley injury report, Nate Jensen will be back for the Lions, but Luke Yuha still out with his head injury from the Michigan series, and Max Gardner tried to skate this week as well, but it didn't go so well. He's not likely to play this weekend either.
It's really good to see Nate Jensen get back on the ice. He's had a full practice for the first time this week, so it'll be good to get him back against Ohio State. What else will the Penn State Nittany Lions need to do well against Ohio State?
Well, I think they got to clear their mind from what happened out at Ohio State. That was a horrid series. You have the 2-goal lead and you blow it. They got to tighten things up on the back end of things. You know, getting Jensen back will help with that, because you can't afford guys like Ryan Dzingel, who's a Hobey Baker Award candidate, just roaming free out there. Every time he's on the ice, you have to mark him and make sure you get a hit on him to make him know that, you know, you do see him out there. And breakaways, we talked about it earlier. Finish your chances when you get them.
All right, Penn State will have those chances Friday at 7 and Saturday at 3 o'clock. That'll do it for the Blue Line this week. For Andrew Calista, Mike Trussett, we'll see you all next week.